Okay, hello everyone. Alright, so let's talk about the AND logical operator. Alright, so we talked about the fact that logical operators merge Boolean expressions into one, and that one statement either results in true or false, right? So I'm going to create a scenario here so we have a better understanding of how the AND logical operator works. So assuming we had two students, and assuming we had two student test scores, so there are two students and they both have a test score. They both took an exam and they have a test score. Now, I want to display a message, okay, to them, to both of them, only if both of them, let's say, had a score greater than 80. Assuming the pass score or the pass mark was 80. I only want to display a message if both of them, had a score greater than 80. And so I'm going to use the AND logical operator to create a Boolean expression, okay, and then we'll see how it works, better. So I'm going to first of all declare the variables of the student scores. So since the score can be a double value, I'm going to declare the scores as double values. So we can have 75.8, for example, or 65.2. So a double value, and I'm going to call the first one student 1 score. I'm going to set it equal to 90 for now. So the first student got a score of 90. I'm going to create the same thing for student 2 score, and I'm going to set it equal to, let's say, 95. Right? So both students right now have a score greater than 80. Okay. So I'm going to create an if statement here. My if else statement. So let me go ahead and create the structure here. And in the Boolean expression here, I'm going to merge two Boolean expressions with the AND logical operator. Now we know that the AND logical operator is denoted by the symbol of two ampersand signs. This way, I'm going to use a comment to show that. So the comment is not part of it. This is what I'm referring to. Two ampersand signs together is the AND logical operator. All right. So the way I would form this is I'd say if student 1 score is greater than 80, okay, and I'm going to merge it now with the AND logical operator, and student 2 score is greater than 80, then display a message, and I'll explain what this means in a second. System.out.println, display a message saying that both students have a score of more than 80, I believe. Or both students passed with a score. I don't know, with a score greater than 80. And then if both students didn't pass, or if both students didn't get a score greater than 80, then that means that at least one of them failed, right? Or at least one of them, well, it wouldn't be a fail completely, right? Below 80 wouldn't be necessarily a fail, but I will say that both students didn't. Let's just use didn't, capital letters, so we can see the difference. All right. So how does this work? We know this is one Boolean expression. We know this is another Boolean expression. All right. So the AND logical operator merges well, not just two, but it merges Boolean expressions, and then it merges them into one, right? And that one Boolean expression has to result to either true or false. And we know the way if statements work is this. What's in the parentheses over here has to result to true, okay, for this statement to run, for what's in the if block to run. If what's in this Boolean expression, if what's in this parentheses here, the Boolean expression here, if it doesn't result to true, then what's in the else block will run. All right, so let's look at this. The only time that this Boolean expression will be true, okay, is if these Boolean expressions, if both of them are true, okay. For the AND logical operator, both of these Boolean expressions have to be true for the entire Boolean expression to be true. So if at any time if at least one of them is false, the entire statement is false. It doesn't matter which one. If this is false, then the entire statement is false. If this is false, then the entire statement is false. If both of them are false, then the entire statement is still false. The only time that this statement, these two expressions merged with an AND logical operator, the only time that this results to true is when both Boolean expressions are true. So in that case, we know that student 1 test score was 90 and student 2 test score is 95. They are both greater than 80. So for example, this one, student 1 test score greater than 80 will result to true because student 1 test score is 90. Student 2 score is greater than 80 also because it's 95. So that means that these two expressions are true. And the only time that this entire expression, which is merged into one by the AND logical operator, the only time it becomes true is when both expressions are true. If at least one of them is false, then the entire Boolean expression is false. All right. And we know also that with an if statement, if this expression is true, then what's here runs, and if it's false, then what's in the else block runs. So let's compile this, and then let's try this out. Run. It says both students pass with a score greater than 80, right? Because that's true. Both students got a score, greater than 80. Let's go ahead and change 1 to, let's say, 45, right? So compile. So what's going to happen is this. It's going to test to see if student 1 test score is greater than 80. In this case, it's going to be false because student 1 test score is going to be less than, it's going to be 45, less than 80. It's not going to be greater than 80. It's less than 80. And with the AND logical operator, if you merge two expressions, or if you merge expressions with the AND logical operator, if one of the expressions is false, it won't even waste time to check the other expression. If one of the expressions is false, the entire Boolean expression becomes false. The only time this expression is true when you merge two expressions with the Boolean with the AND logical operator is when both expressions are true. So I hope you get that. So let's compile this and then run it. Now it says both students didn't pass with a score greater than 80, and that's true. One of them had a score of 45. If you change both of them to, let's say, below 80, compile, and then you run, it still says that both students didn't pass with a score greater than 80, and that's true. Both students didn't pass. At least one of them didn't pass with a score greater than 80, and if that's the case, then this Boolean expression becomes false. So in the next program, we'll see an example program that kind of simplifies one of the programs we created using if-else statement, and we'll kind of better understand how the the AND logical operator is helpful. All right. So if you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time with the next program. All right then. Bye bye.